Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on in to the Blue Collar Psychiatrist. Today, we're going to be talking about something very important. It's called compare interest rates. Now, many of you associate that statement with a bank or several banks competing for customers. And what they will say is compare interest rates, implying that they are paying more interest than the other banks that you have to choose from. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is personal relationships. Could be in a relationship where someone is trying to sell you something, but you really don't want it that bad, but you'll negotiate with them. In that case, who has control? Who has the greater interest rate? It's the person trying to sell it to you, because you could take it or you could leave it. So you can bargain with them and try to drive a hard bargain, but if you don't get it, then you walk away. But what I'm talking about today, what we are talking about today, are comparing the interest rate of one person in a relationship versus another person. Here's an example. Suppose you and another person are in a relationship. You want more. You want more involvement. You want to see the person more than they apparently want to see you. You want more interaction, more activities than the other person seems to want. The other person is fine the way things are now, which is seeing each other once in a while and maybe just doing a few things that are not that satisfying to you, maybe for an hour or two every couple of weeks, let's say, and the activities that you settle upon are not that satisfying to you. And the other person says, well, I'm happy as it is right now. And you say, well, I'd like to see you more, or I'd like to do more things, and things that are more interesting, things that might take a little bit more time. And what do you do if that happens? Who's controlling that relationship? It's the other person, because they want less. You want more. Remember, the one who wants less controls the relationship. So now you're in a situation where the other person wants less. How do you resolve this? This takes some thought and some knowledge of the other person. But I will say to you this: if you see that this other person is wanting less involvement with you, you might get a bit suspicious. Is this person seeing someone else when you thought this was an exclusive relationship? Are they really not that interested in you? They like you, but they're not real willing to commit to a more consistent, more active, more frequent relationship? That's the question. And how do you get around that? It may come to, although the answer may be already there when you think about it, but you have to do what you think is the right thing. The main thing then is to have a sit-down discussion with the other person and to lay your cards right on the table and say, listen, I really enjoy the time we have together, but I was hoping that we could see each other more and do more things together. You're laying your cards right on the table. And it's almost like you're almost saying, take it or leave it, because you don't want to waste your time. And here we go again with time. Time always creeps up. You want to do things, more things than the other person wants to do. And then you just spell it out to them. You just say that how much you enjoy their company, but you want more. And if the other person will not budge, then I think you have your answer. It may not be the answer that you want, but you have your answer. The other person may not come out and say, well, I like you, but I don't want to see you exclusively, or I like you, but I don't want to do that many things together. You get the idea. The other person is telling you that they're not really into you as you feel into them. So now you've got to come to a conclusion, because I don't like to leave things hanging. And the judgment you must make is, can I live with this type of a relationship where I'm not really getting all that I want in the relationship, and the other person doesn't seem to want to budge and come over to my direction? Now you have to say to yourself, can I live with this? Or is this person really not that interested in me that they want to spend extra time? And I think you already have the answer. Don't beg the other person. Don't try to cajole them. Don't try to bribe them. Don't try to do anything other than to get that answer, because you have to know. And if you can't get the degree of relationship that you want from that other person, it may be time to move on. Because we don't have the time to waste on a journey that's going nowhere. When somebody puts you off and they don't want to seem to do the things you want to do, not that they have to do everything you want to do, but if they just don't want to have that level of activity with you that you want, then you're going to have to decide whether you can live with that. Personally, if that was me, I couldn't live with it. But that's my judgment. That's my judgment on that hypothetical situation. You have to decide if you can live with that. And if you can't live with that, then it's time to move on. Move on to somebody who wants to see you more, who wants more activity. But obviously you have to have feelings for that person, not just somebody who wants to do more with you. You have to have that feeling. So ladies and gentlemen, be very wary of a situation, as I brought it out to you, of someone who wants less and you want more, and the other person doesn't want to seem to budge. The answer might be in the statement of the problem. They're really not that interested in you, or at least not sufficiently enough to make that relationship go to your satisfaction. Ladies and gentlemen, I remind you to drink! I drink abundantly from the fountain of life. See you next time.